If Brazil go out in the knockout stage, it will be for similar reasons to Argentina's underperforming side. Not to quite the same levels, mind. They, like the awful Albiceleste we saw unpicked last night by an organized Croatia, have a dependency on their number 10 as an attacking focal point which can hamper their opportunities. Read more, World Cup schedule 2018 in full, today's fixtures, kickoff times and TV listings. Late goals from Philippe Coutinho and Neymar were sighs of relief for the tournament favourites, but it papers over obvious cracks exposed in attacking movement. That sides as middling as Costa Rica and Switzerland have largely lived with them, should be of grave concern to tighten those in yellow shirts. The Selecao also have the capacity to defend terribly, but more on that left back later. Over-reliance on Neymar. The game opened as you'd expect, tense, probing for space wide from both teams, with neither truly mucking into the midfield, preferring cross-field passes to stretch defenses. Probably 80% Brazilian possession. One rare moment of Costa Rican possession ended in a sixth-minute effort to ping a ball wide. It flew directly out, highlighting the difference in passing ability between the sides. From the beginning, Brazil were in possession, trying to break down a Costa Rica side that would only offer robust challenges or fouls to any attempt to play through them. Brazil experimented with a few central balls to Neymar, in the zone occupied by a number 10 coming deep to attempt a dribble. His efforts were met with fouls, some genuinely good tackles and more fouls. Every attacking play was directed to Neymar. There were few moves during which teammates didn't search him out. It's natural for teams to lean on their best players, but it's not quite understandable why Brazil were offering their best Argentina impression when they have such an array of attacking talent in the midfield and across the front line. This is not to say Neymar operated with an ego. He was happy to track behind Marcelo in attack early on, to bring the right back with him out of position, opening space for his teammate or himself on the turn. His unselfish attitude was brought to the fore again, when he dribbled into the area just after the 30-minute mark, cutting back on himself to attempt to chip across unselfishly to Gabriel Jesus rather than shoot himself. It was team ethic beyond belief, but you wish he'd rewarded his own industry with a shot. 2 minutes later, dribbling down the wing, he found himself victim of yet another foul. Costa Rica's forward Johan Venegas and Costa Rica's defender Giancarlo Gonzalez tackled Neymar. AFP, Getty Images. When Brazil stopped trying to play through the Costa Rican-stead gauntlet, Neymar made 2 runs behind the sluggish Gamboa in 5 minutes. Both were good passes rewarded with a great attacking position. They were shut down as Costa Rican defenders swarmed around the number 10. Brazil offered only one similar ball to Willie in that half, an overhit Coutinho pass. He was crying out for it all game. Neymar is a world-class player capable of taking on 3 Costa Rican defenders, but Brazil have a few players who could claim this accolade. If Neymar is being marked and hacked out of the game, they need to shift the dynamic. Let Neymar open space for another world-class striker. He doesn't have to touch the ball to manufacture a goal. VAR drama. A truly extraordinary save by Keylor Navas denied a strike from the penalty area in the 55th minute. It seemed like there was nothing they could do to get the ball in the net. 2 minutes later, Navas denied them again, with a more routine save. Tensions kept brewing. Neymar's frustration with the game reached a zenith with a brazen 77th-minute dive. You can understand the impulse, given he'd spend most of the game being kicked around the St. Petersburg Stadium. Originally given as a penalty, VAR showed it was clearly not a foul. A defender placed a hand on his chest and Neymar fell over dramatically, hands raised rather than finish the right foot shot he'd opened up for himself so brilliantly. The yellow card followed shortly after for a petty foul, and his teammate Coutinho received one for dissent. An ugly look indeed for the most attractive side in the tournament. Costa Rica, for their part, showed almost no inclination to attack. They continued, as they had all game, to pump long balls up to Marcos Arena and Johan Venegas aimlessly. A draw suited them perfectly. Brazil showed an inability to win the game they had dominated. Throughout the game they had also shown how they could lose more difficult encounters. Marcelo's wandering. Brazil's defender Marcelo was repeatedly caught out of position by Costa Rica and would have been punished by a better side. AFP, Getty Images, he may line up at left back but don't be fooled. Marcelo has absolutely no intention of defending. Brazil's number 12 put his hand up to be the weakest link in Brazil's team with his performance today, with a total abandonment of his defensive duties. Brazil were caught napping while Casemiro was off the field being treated to a nosebleed early on in the game. Costa Rica spread it wide to a wide-open Venegas, who offered a ball into the box Arena didn't quite reach. Blueprint for a goal was therefore all to see in Marcelo's lackadaisical approach to marking. A disallowed first-half goal from an offside came when Neymar's dribble clipped into the heel of Johnny Acosta into Marcelo's path. The left-back rifled a shot into Gabriel Jesus, who flicked it up from an offside position to smash it into the net. Fair enough, have a pop. He then continued to have two more long-range efforts on his dalliances up the field. All the while Venegas was in about 40 yards of space, if a counterattack opportunity arose. He was afforded the opportunity of playing as a left winger for most of the game because Costa Rica sat back pumping up long balls relatively aimlessly. There was usually zero attempt to pressure Brazil when their center-backs have it. Thiago Silva's confidence on the ball turned to near recklessness at times, but it was justified by the lack of threat. Follow us on Facebook, @iPapersport. One problematic moment occurred when he was in the process of being dispossessed off the ball just before halftime. Rather than take responsibility and boot it out or upfield, he attempted to flick the ball nonchalantly back to his teammate 5 yards away and instead gave a perfect nudge forward for Arena. His response to the error and the following Costa Rica attack was to jog back rather than defend with full effort. Costa Rica's attacks mainly were down the right wing, because it's where Marcelo consistently should have been defending but wasn't. Worst of all, he didn't seem to care that others covered his arrogant upfield runs. Someone needs to remind him of his responsibilities and obvious limitations. His errors will cost his country a World Cup against better sides. At Luis Alex Dormore on the World Cup, England v Panama, 3 stars. Gareth Southgate's men should look out for England World Cup squad. In full, Gareth Southgate's 23 players at Russia 2018 World Cup Golden Boot race. In full, the leading scorers at Russia 2018 so far.